What's the worst date you've ever had? Non-Australians, what's something you think every Australian has in their house? What is a good smell? There is a smell which only happens after a really cold snap of weather, and the first day of the cold snap, early in the morning. It's like this super cold, fresh smell, and everything is just super cold and frozen around you. I love it. Soil after rain. Weirdly, I understand that. Something about wet dirt. Freshly baked cinnamon rolls. Oh, come on now, don't make me hungry. Fresh baked bread. Oh, you're killing me here. Butter plus garlic plus onion plus heat. Oh, come on, man, you can't keep doing this to me. A freshly lit match, second only to the just blown out match. Gingerbread. But do you know the Muffin Man? Your cat when you pick them up and press your face into their fur. Alright, that's a risk because if they just use the litter box, oh no. Eucalyptus. It's not entirely my taste, but yeah. WD-40. There is something nice about toxic fumes. Cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove. I really like freshly mowed grass. Crayola crayons. Always reminds me of kindergarten. Double-edged sword there because crayons smell good. Little kids who poop their pants, not so much. What are some good 30-minute TV shows with lots of seasons? Futurama. Good news, everyone! My name is Earl. Also Raising Hope. You just can't beat good old sitcoms. Parks and Recreation. I only recently finished watching all of Parks and Rec and it's definitely a good watch. Bob's Burgers. I still need to get to that one. I don't know why I haven't. I'm sorry, okay? Community. Oh, just such a good show. I mean, kind of minus Chevy Chase, but whatever. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is the sitcom of the gods. The Golden Gods. Began rewatching Married with Children. Still relatable. And comedic timing and scripting is spot on. Who's currently the most annoying person? Please don't say me. Please, just don't say me this time. The text-to-speech girl in every TikTok. Yeah, I'm kind of over her at this point. My apartment manager. Look, you'll get your rent when I feel like it. The two kids in my 7th period English class who don't shower or use deodorant. Oh, come on, y'all. It's so easy. According to me, it definitely has to be me. You haven't met me yet, Putin. I think annoying is a little light, don't you think? James Corden. Dear America, please don't send him back. Things are bad enough already. Signed, every British person. Well, we do have the receipt, so legally we have to give him back. My mother-in-law. My neighbor across the street with his beater cars he thinks he can turn. I feel like it would be me. Bank of England. Wait, they have banks in England? I thought everybody just had gold coins and doubloons. Elon Musk. I don't even use Twitter and I'm annoyed at what he's doing to that company. Just know every time you read an Elon Musk tweet, it is considered self-harm, so please take care of yourself. My roommates who don't wash their hands or spray after going number 2. I always feel so bad when I run out of Febreze because God, I'd ruin the toilet. What fictional character can be identified by one quote? Say hello to my little friend. My ex? You shall not pass! Truly iconic of Frodo. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Giggity. Who else but Quagmire? My precious. I can't do a Smeagol at all. I'm sorry. One does not simply walk into Mordor. Every time I saw that meme picture, I swear it was from Game of Thrones, but I'm just dumb. Why so serious? I did not hit her. I did not. My father will hear about this. The name's Bond. Like glue or James? Mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Lieutenant Dan. Which living organism will be a nightmare if it was as big as a whale? Ants. There'd be no place for anyone else. A chicken. Why chicken? No compassion, no remorse, just peck. Tarantula. If there were tarantulas as big as whales, I don't think I need to live in this world anymore. Praying mantis. Once again, I think really just any bug as big as a whale, I don't need to live anymore. Butterflies/moths. They'd be even more terrifying because they wouldn't have any malicious intent towards us, but the flapping of their wings would cause destruction and death. I think that'd be cool. We'd just have a real-life Mothra. Dude, dust mites. They are so freaky looking. Any living organism besides whales, I think. I'd say your mom, but that would just miniaturize her. Oh, get wrecked. Mosquitoes. I mean, if they're that big, would they be drinking our blood or just sucking us up up hole. Cats? I don't know if it would be that bad. They're just big fuzzy guys. I guess you guys haven't seen a flying cockroach. I have not, and I hope I never do. What is one game, movie, or piece of media that everyone should experience? Journey on PlayStation and now on Steam. It's gorgeous and strangely moving. Even made me cry once. Hot Fuzz. Just so hilarious. The Truman Show. Ghibli movies. There really is just some kind of magic put into them. It's hard to explain. Mushrooms, in my opinion, are a form of media. The Witcher 3, especially Heart of Stone. I think I've only ever played like 1/10 into The Witcher 3, but I just get so overwhelmed. There's so many side quests. I'm sorry. Children of Men. Breaking Bad. It provides the perfect example of how your pride and ego can sometimes be your own worst enemy. Red Dead Redemption 2. The story, the landscapes, the clouds and lighting, the animals and insects, the architecture, etc. It's a true masterpiece in storytelling and art. Original Halo trilogy. Naruto. A hot take here. I think the best way to experience the Naruto story is by playing the Ultimate Ninja Storm games because they really just get all the points you need and skip the filler. What's a sound or noise growing up that you don't hear anymore? Old school telephones. There was a special sound to them that can't be replicated. The actual physical bell ringing. Coming soon to theaters. In a world. I love going on YouTube and watching all the old school trailers of some of my favorite movies. The whir click of a cassette player as you rewind, play, fast forward, play, trying to find the song you want. The tortured wailing of the damned souls that facilitate the internet connection through a modem. Good old dial-up, baby. TV static. There was something oddly comforting and creepy about TV static. My parents saying they're proud of me. That sounds nice. The intro to MASH playing at midnight. Cicadas. Oh, well, you just gotta watch some anime. I mean, it's right there. Chalk on a blackboard. You know, I don't know if I've actually ever heard that properly. Most of my schooling was just whiteboards and expo markers, so my mom playing piano in the living room. She was a piano teacher, but she played for fun too. It was kind of the background music to my childhood. Silence. It has been taken over by ringing. That might be tinnitus. You should get that checked out. The wood screen door slamming shut as we kids ran in and out all summer. The THX noise. You're right, I haven't heard that in a long time. The beeping of a Tamagotchi. I'm pretty sure you can still buy those today, so you can still hear that. Parents of Reddit, what's the funniest reason you've been called to pick your child up from school? Not school, but daycare. He tried to force a fart to make a girl laugh and his pants. We've all been there. Bloody nose, possible concussion, and enough blood from the cut on his head that they had to close the bathroom. Why, you ask? He was running to the bathroom already and his crush came into view. So he kept on running while he stared behind him. When he finally turned to see where he was going, there was a wall there suddenly. Weirdly, that happened to me too, except I ran face first into a basketball pole and then I had like a silly putty egg sized bump on my forehead for about 2 weeks. When my oldest son was in daycare, I got a call that he was on the roof. He climbed the playset and somehow got onto the roof of the building. The guy that ran the daycare was a new owner that my son simply did not like. The guy called me to tell me he was on the roof and would not come down. I had to leave work and go convince him to come down. One time my grandma had to pick me up because I decided that for April Fool's Day, I'd take a bunch of ketchup packs, fold them in half, and place them under the nubs of all the toilet seats so they would explode all over the back of your legs when you sit down. I recall walking into the principal's office and he was laughing his ass off. I still got suspended for a week. Mother had to pick me up after I went to school dressed as Nacho Libre in his fancy clothes and ripped the pants reenacting the butt flex scene in front of my main class. Oldest kid was eating the teacher's granola bars off her desk for a couple weeks before she figured out who was taking them. He thought they were snacks for everybody, lol. Youngest was put in the corner for whatever reason and the teacher caught her licking the wall. She's still an effing weirdo. Technically this would be my mother's story to tell, but I'm telling it in her honor. When I was in the 3rd grade, some girls at school talked me into bringing my mom's to school. I brought it out in my backpack to show them at school, and they then told me they were gonna tell the teacher on me. I ditched it in the bathroom and went to class. They called my mother to come pick me up because I had been suspended for 3 days, and when she arrived at the school, they asked her if she wanted the back. My biggest question is why did those other girls know what a dildo was, and how did you find your mom's? Rock stuck in my daughter's nose. They couldn't get it out. What is your favorite horror movie kill? In The Thing, when Copper is trying to revive Norris, but when he he goes down with the defibrillators, his chest opens up and rips his arms off. Then his head detaches from his body and turns into the f***ed up spider thing. That movie was awesome. The Thing is absolutely one of my top 10 horror movies. It's basically original Among Us. When Johnny Depp gets sucked into the bed in Nightmare on Elm Street. There have been many more cool or graphic ones since, but that's the one that absolutely did its job and f***ed me up when I was a kid. Close second is that scene in Hereditary. I feel like there are a few scenes in Hereditary, so which one? Final Destinations have some buttes. I mean, nobody can drive in peace next to a truck loaded with logs after seeing Final Destination 2. We studied that scene in my VFX class. A lot of new tech for the time was used for that scene. Really neat. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, welcome to prime time. Chris Hemsworth in Cabin in the Woods. I had forgotten about that force field because I was so into it, and then bam, bitch goes down. Dinosaur eating a lawyer in Jurassic Park. Would you call Jurassic Park a horror movie entirely? I don't know. Shaun of the Dead, where they beat the zombie barman with pool cues to the tune of Queen's Don't Stop Me Now before driving him headfirst into the jukebox. All the teenagers from the first 2 Friday the 13th movies. Man, they were annoying. What are smart people really bad at? Well, in recent events, Elon Musk proves that it's business, accepting good enough solutions. I work in IT and I've worked with a few smart people over the years. A common trait is creating vastly complex systems because of a minor issue with a simpler approach. Just being happy and not overthinking. Oh, that was it. What's your favorite animated adult show? Really fond of Futurama. It gave Matt Groening the opportunity to explore new ideas and go in a direction which network executives wouldn't allow for The Simpsons. Simpsons got kind of old and tired and way too formulaic. I really appreciate Futurama because it also gave them the opportunity to have a more solid continuity from episode to episode. It's less of a weekend cartoon and more of a TV series. Mike Tyson Mysteries. Mike Tyson Mysteries. I can't. Archer. I've been recommended Archer a lot, and I guess if you like John H. Benjamin, then go for it. South Park and Rick and Morty. Just never pay attention to the fan bases, I'd say. Bob's Burgers. Still need to get to it. I promise one of these days. BoJack Horseman. I'm not ready to be sad yet. Stop telling me to be sad. Rick and Morty. Oh, gee, Rick, I don't know how to do a Morty impression. What was your first thought after you woke up today? I have to piss so bad. Here we go again. I'm retired after today. Oh, well, congratulations. Wordle. I had to stop doing Wordle because at a certain point it felt like homework. Zelda speedrun. That's a good way to spend your day. I swear if that bitch still left me on red. Here's to hoping you got a reply. Coffee. That's generally my first thought, actually. Whoa, that was a weird dream. What is your motto in life? F it, we ball, baby. Yeah. Don't set yourself on fire just to keep others warm. If future me hasn't come back in time to tell me not to do it, I better do it. Be the good guy, not always the nice guy. Why search for a partner when garlic bread exists? I am the cause of, and the solution to, most all of my problems. What other people think of you is none of your business. Not sure if that counts as a motto, but I tell myself this constantly as a recovering people pleaser. I'll do it tomorrow. I'd maybe look into getting a new motto, cause ooh, that one's a bad one. To be interesting, be interested. You can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. Never miss an opportunity to shut up. What's totally normal at 3 p.m. but fucking scary at 3 a.m.? Getting a call from mom. Nah, that's scary all the time. An ice cream truck riding slowly through the neighborhood playing that ice cream truck music. You know the music that I'm talking about. Why is it that every ice cream truck plays the same creepy music? Those random noises your house makes when it's just settling. Nah, cause if you're home alone, that's still scary. Imagine, you get a phone call at 3 a.m. and you freak out thinking the worst, and then it's just your friend from Australia. G'day, mate. You'll die in 3 days. Whew, thankfully they don't exist, so we're good. The doorbell ringing. The only thing really scary about that is my dog would start going ballistic, so the barking is what would scare me. Children laughing. Even if I'm not financially able to, I'm still moving if I hear children laughing in the middle of the night. Your neighbor digging a hole in his garden. Bit of an odd activity for 3 a.m., but go for it, bud. Hearing a bunch of fast-paced footsteps, but quickly remembering it's just some fat cat. That's the #1 way to freak me out in the middle of the night is just hearing like soft footsteps that slowly get louder and faster, and oh my god, creaking floorboards. If you hear that, you get out the window. Flying a kite. Hello, mother dear. I might be missing the reference here. How thick does a stick need to be before you can call it a log? Well, let me just pull my pants down real quick and I'll tell you. One day I was walking and I found this big log, and I rolled the log over, and underneath was a tiny little stick, and I was like, that log had a child. If it's too big to throw for a dog, it's a log. That actually seems like a good metric. If it takes 2 flushes, it's a log. Just use your poop knife. Like, duh, who doesn't have one? Can break in half with hands? It's a stick. I've never thought about it, but now it's going to keep me awake. LOL. If you can pick it up, then you're allowed to call it a stick. But I can pick up some pretty thick logs. Does that mean they're still sticks? If your hand can go more than halfway around it, it's a stick. Once again, I'll pull my pants down really quickly. For shits and giggles, I asked my phone, hey Google, when does a stick become a log? Answer is 4. Oh yeah, that is so helpful. Thank you. Twig equals very small, brittle, extremely easy to break. Stick equals longer and thicker than a twig, but still easy to carry multiple with one hand and easily broken. Branch equals longer and even thicker than a stick, kinda heavy. Probably can only carry one with one hand, probably need to drag it to move it, can be easily broken if you hold one end and stomp the middle with your foot to break it. Log equals short but very wide, heavy, probably need 2 hands to carry, can't be broken. The cut up pieces of a trunk. Trunk equals the entire thick bottom part of a tree, all branches removed, need tools to cut up, can't be moved without tools. Which horror movie actually scared you? I might have already said this, but the recent movie Barbarian, ooh, that one got me. The Hills Have Eyes. I wish I never watched it. Last horror I ever watched, The Ring. It literally made me anxious about being alone in the living room with the TV for around 6 months after I watched it. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Something about the way it was filmed made it feel so real while I was watching it, and the jarring sounds and everything were so eerie. I didn't even end up finishing it. Had to leave the room, LOL. The Grudge, though it was probably because I watched it when I was 10. Pinocchio. That kids to donkey place is my nightmare. It was overly creepy, wasn't it? The Exorcist. Well, of course. The first time I watched the Thing movie, especially the blood test scene. To be fair, I was only 8. Blair Witch Project. A little shocking, but alright. Hereditary. That one definitely warrants some scares, yeah. The Conjuring 2 because of the nun. The set of balls a demon must have to walk around as a nun. I can't tell you how many sleep paralysis episodes I had where I would recite the Lord's Prayer only to be laughed at by the demon/dream/hallucination peeking from behind my bathroom door. Also, as a child, Scream. Being stalked by a serial killer in a creepy mask is scary. People in real life actually do shit like that. Whereas, knock on wood, I've never met a demon. And I still check behind my flowy cloths in the closet sometimes just in case, LOL. Just in case. The Sixth Sense scared me when it came out. I remember having nightmares, and every time I got in the shower, I thought Donnie Wahlberg was waiting for me in his tighty whities. The Grudge was scary as f***. That chick with the big eyes and the noise she makes haunts me to this day. 13 Ghosts also gave me nightmares for a while. What is the one song that, in your opinion, is 100% perfect? Midnight Train to Georgia by Gladys Knight and the Pips. If You Could Read My Mind by Gordon Lightfoot. Wii Sports theme. It's definitely goated, and more than likely with the sauce. Days Like This by Van Morrison. Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. I think we can agree Fleetwood Mac is just 100% perfect overall. Pictures of You by The Cure. God Only Knows by The Beach Boys. Lean on Me by Bill Withers. What's the dumbest thing that makes you irrationally angry? When I do a Google quotation search and get shown results that lack the word I was searching for. When there's a new roll of toilet paper in a public restroom and I can't find the beginning, so I just sit there pawing at it like a helpless kitty and muttering swears and praying to the gods and goddesses of the toilet realm to spare me of this living hell. Then versus than. Now, just seeing the word then causes me to look for a mistake, even if the word was used correctly. Should have versus should have. Defiantly versus definitely. To versus to. I will admit I get the 2 and 2 mixed up a lot. I'm sorry. American education is not top notch, you know. Lateness. Like, everyone I know is always late. I should be used to it, but I just can't stand it. Stepping on my own shoelaces and untying my shoe. Sounds like a small inconvenience that would absolutely ruin my entire day. When Siri replies, I found this on the web, to a simple question. Those goddamn kids on my fucking lawn! Okay, Okay, Mr. Nevercracker. Loud mouth noises, chewing with mouth open, etc. That is just enraging. That isn't irrational hatred. A very rational hatred. Every time I try to plug in a USB cord, it's the wrong way. Every single time. Astrology. Typical Virgo. What is the first step to fixing America? Look, don't ask me, man. I just work here. Education and solving the corruption that money in politics causes. Ranked choice voting. What do you mean by that? I can't even imagine what you mean by that. Adopting universal health care for all. Yes, absolute 100% yes. Wanting to fix it. The problem is step 2, which is defining what fixing America means. I doubt we will ever stop arguing about that. Ban TikTok. I'm not sure if that would fix America, but it is a step forward. What band did you love as a teenager that you're embarrassed of now? Blood on the Dance Floor. Yikes. Yeah, that one's a rough one. I mean, you know, the scene days were different. Tokyo Hotel. I was such a cringy fan along with my friends, but the sad thing is I still like their old albums from 2005 to 2010. LOL. Both in German and English. Lost Prophets. Yeah, I was not happy. Full on Limp Bizkit. Favorite band. Own t-shirts. Thank God I was too young to get a tattoo, or I probably would have. I'm not so much embarrassed of them per se, more so just embarrassed of myself back then, believing what I thought liking them meant about me. I'm a rebel, look at me, better watch out, boy band lovers. It's funny because listening to a Backstreet Boys song now gives me just as much nostalgia as a Limp Bizkit song. That I'm not embarrassed about any music I've listened to. Correct, that is the correct answer. You shouldn't be embarrassed about things you like. Most Christian rock. I loved that in junior high because it was the only rock music I was allowed to listen to. Now it's just, wow. Ugh, Creed. Just gonna leave that there. 30 Seconds to Mars. Had such a huge crush on emo, what's his face? Jared Leto? Now he's an asshole in Morbin Time and ugh. Whoa. Wait, 30 Seconds to Mars was Jared Leto? Excuse me? Men of Reddit, what would you do if you woke up with a second DP for sure. Good luck finding a partner for that one, bud. Quit my job at the nuclear power plant. The second is unrelated though. See which one is bigger and then proceed to shame the smaller one. Become ambidextrous, ambisextrous, ambidextrous. Come on, y'all. Panic. Yeah, that seems like the most reasonable thing to do when you have a new body part all of a sudden. Wonder where the other 3 went. All right, I'm gonna need picks or it didn't happen. Learn how to play the piano. Alrighty then. Non-Australians, what's something you think every Australian has in their house? Spiders. Well, duh, but so do you. Vegemite jar. I mean, what else are they gonna eat? Barbie dolls with shrimp on them for some reason. Alright, getting creative, I see. A 6'4" man full of muscles. Does he speak my language? Unsure. When you ask, he just smiles and gives you a Vegemite sandwich. High SPF sunscreen. I mean, really everyone should be using high SPF sunscreen, like, come on. Stubby holder. Is that a sex thing? Dollary dues. A child named Tobias. A knife. That's not a knife. I see you've played Knifey Spoony before. Drop bears. Is that like an Australian cryptid? Cause I don't have clear answers. Beer. Well, again, who doesn't? Boomerang. I mean, it's not like America. They need some home defense. Didgeridoo for sure. More like didgeridoo ever speak to me. Tim Tams for sure. Who is Tim and why do you want his Tams? What's the worst date you've ever had? He talked about Spider-Man the entire time, then asked for a BJ. Alright, you can only do one or the other. You gotta pick a lane. I got stood up at a Smashing Pumpkins concert in 1996. It was a 90-mile drive and she had the tickets. And since neither my date nor said tickets showed up, I stood out front of the venue for about an hour before finally leaving. My car wouldn't start and it took another hour before someone could give me a jump start. And somehow made it home, although I have no memory of the drive back. She told me the next day that she got sick, but her sister said she was hooking up with another guy. I went out on a double date to the movies with my friend and his girlfriend and a girl I really liked. After an incredibly awkward dinner and movie, I drove her home. She asked me for my friend's number. Blind date at a froyo shop. Guy got way too excited to talk about Yuri anime when I mentioned I, at the time, identified as bi. Then said I reminded him of a character. Got my steps in running for the bus, and now I can never go to any Dollar Tree in Syracuse at the risk of running into him because he mentioned working there, but never specified which. And I deleted Tinder. That's just, oh, that is rough. Met at a coffee shop. In 30 seconds, she said she had to go and hurried out. Oh God, either she's really mean or you're really weird. Sorry. Her ex showed up crying. That's definitely an interesting one. She showed up with cat ears. And you didn't propose? Well, now I gotta go look through Tinder and get sad, so thank you so much for watching. Once again, my name is Brandon, and I'll talk to you some other day. Bye! Ooh.